Before she hit a single ball in Cincinnati, something happened that no one expected. Thousands of voices rose at once, flags filled the stands, and one name echoed through the arena over and over again. Not the name of the world number one. Not the defending champion. One girl from the Philippines had turned an American tennis stadium into her own home ground, and what happens next in her story might be the biggest turning point of her entire career. Stay till the end, because there is a twist in this journey that even her own fans did not see coming. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now, not because we're asking you to, but because somewhere out there is a young girl, a small-town dreamer, a person who was told she wasn't good enough, and stories like Alex Eala's are proof that they were wrong. When you subscribe, you're not just following a channel. You're standing with every underdog who refused to give up. So if her story moves you even a little, be part of this journey with us. Subscribe now, because the next few minutes are going to give you chills. Every incredible story has a moment where it could have ended. For Alex Eala, that moment came in Toronto. She had walked into the Canadian Open riding the best form of her life, a 7-match winning streak that had carried her from a stunning title run in Washington all the way through the North American hard-court swing. 8 matches. 12 days. Body running on fumes, heart running on pure adrenaline. Then came Belinda Bencic. A former Olympic champion. A player with nothing to lose and everything to prove. The first set was close. Eala fought, she matched Bencic point for point, she even broke serve. For a moment, it looked like the impossible streak might continue. But then something shifted. Bencic found her rhythm, closed out the first set 6-4, and in the second set, she simply took over. 6-0. A brutal, one-sided finish that ended Eala's dream run in just over an hour. 7-match winning streak. Gone. Just like that. For any young athlete, a loss like that could break the spirit. The exhaustion was real. Eala herself admitted she felt drained after playing so many matches in such a short window. But here is where her story takes a turn that most people never talk about. She did not disappear. She did not spiral. Instead, she did something almost every one of us can relate to. She took a breath. She got a haircut, trimmed her nails, and gave herself 2 days to simply be human again, away from the pressure of an entire nation watching her every move. Because carrying a country's hopes on your shoulders is not easy. And what she did next would prove exactly why millions believe in her. Just days after that heartbreaking loss, Alex Eala walked into Cincinnati, and the atmosphere completely changed. Before she even stepped onto the practice court, the crowd was already chanting her name. Flags of the Philippines filled the stands. It felt less like a warm-up event and more like a coronation. And here is the twist that made headlines across the tennis world. Alex Eala entered the Cincinnati Open as the number 17 seed. The highest seeding of her entire career at a WTA 1000 event. Ranked number 20 in the world, she moved up in the seedings after several higher-ranked players, including Karolina Muchova, Jasmine Paolini, and Victoria Mboko, were forced to withdraw due to injury. Because of that seeding, Eala earned a first-round bye, giving her crucial extra time to recover before her Cincinnati campaign even began. The tournament, a massive 96-player draw held at the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio, features an absolute murderer's row of talent, players like Aryna Sabalenka, Elena Rybakina, Jessica Pegula, Coco Gauff, and Mira Andreeva. Think about that for a second. A player who was virtually unknown on the world stage not long ago is now sharing a draw sheet with the biggest names in women's tennis. And she earned every bit of that spot. But this is not just a story about rankings and seedings. This is a story about how one player from a country with almost no tennis history somehow became the most talked about name in the sport this summer. 18 months. That is how long it took Alex Eala to climb from world number 143 all the way to a career-high ranking of number 20. Let that sink in. Most professional athletes spend their entire careers trying to crack the top 100. Eala didn't just crack it, she blew past it, and the moment that truly ignited her rise was her stunning WTA 500 title run in Washington. She didn't just win the tournament. She beat the top seed, Jessica Pegula, in the final to claim it, becoming the first Filipino ever to win a WTA Tour-level singles title, and the first Southeast Asian player to ever capture a WTA 500 crown. Before that, at Wimbledon, she made history again, becoming the first Filipina ever seeded at a Grand Slam singles draw, and she rode that momentum all the way to the fourth round, the best Grand Slam result of her career. This is not luck. This is not a lucky bracket or a one-off upset. This is a pattern. A pattern of a young woman who keeps proving, tournament after tournament, that she belongs among the elite. And her rise is not just being measured in ranking points anymore. It's being measured in something far bigger. Here is something that even seasoned tennis commentators did not see coming. In Washington, tournament organizers reported that most ticket inquiries were about one single player. Not the top seed. Not the defending champion. Alex Eala. In Toronto, thousands of tickets disappeared within minutes of going on sale. The stadium, which seats around 10,000 people, was transformed into a sea of red, white, and blue, the colors of the Philippine flag. The chant of her name echoed so loudly that even her opponents noticed it. After ending her winning streak, Belinda Bencic herself admitted that most of the crowd had been cheering for Eala, and still thanked the fans for the incredible energy they brought to the match. Katie McNally, another player Eala had defeated earlier in the tournament, called the atmosphere absolutely electrifying, and thanked fans around the world, especially Filipino fans, for the passion they brought. Some fans and analysts have started comparing what Eala represents for the Philippines to what Manny Pacquiao meant to the country in boxing. A single athlete capable of uniting an entire nation around a television screen or a stadium seat. Top players in the sport have taken notice too. Jessica Pegula has praised Filipino fans for helping grow the sport of tennis on a global scale. Coco Gauff has said that Eala is bringing a completely new and passionate audience into the game. But through all of this attention, all of these headlines, all of this pressure, Alex Eala has remained remarkably grounded. After her exit in Toronto, she said something that revealed exactly the kind of person she is. She called herself just a drop in the ocean compared to the pride that Filipinos have for their culture and their country. She knows she represents the Philippines on that court. But she also believes that every single fan in the crowd chanting her name is representing their country too. That humility, mixed with that fire to compete, is exactly what makes this next chapter of her story so important. Now here is where things get interesting, because Cincinnati is not the final destination. It's a stepping stone. The US Open begins on August 30th in Flushing Meadows, New York, and every match Alex Eala plays in Cincinnati is being watched as a preview of what could happen on one of the biggest stages in tennis. She has openly said that she plans to take the lessons learned from her Toronto defeat and use them to come back even stronger, both in Cincinnati and in New York. Think about the position she is in right now. A first-round bye to help her body recover. A seeding higher than she has ever had at this level. A wave of momentum from her historic title in Washington and her deep run at Wimbledon. And an entire nation, plus a growing global fan base, watching her every move. The question now is simple, but the answer is anything but predictable. Can Alex Eala turn this Cincinnati run into something historic? Can she carry this momentum all the way into the US Open and shock the tennis world on an even bigger stage? Because here is the thing about stories like this one. They rarely follow a straight line. There will be tougher opponents ahead. There will be moments where the pressure feels unbearable. There will be matches that do not go her way. But if her journey from ranking number 143 to number 20 in just 18 months has taught us anything, it is that counting her out is always a mistake. The tennis world once ignored a young girl from Manila. They cannot ignore her anymore. So here is the real question. Is Alex Eala about to have her biggest tournament yet, or is the pressure of carrying an entire nation's hopes finally going to catch up with her? Nobody knows for certain. Not the analysts. Not the commentators. Not even Eala herself. That is exactly what makes this story worth following, because every match from here on could be the one that defines her legacy. If this story gave you even a little bit of chills, if you found yourself rooting for her without even realizing it, then do one simple thing. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we are going to be right here, following every twist, every win, every heartbreak, and every triumph, all the way to New York and beyond. The Eala Express has arrived in Cincinnati, and the tennis world is watching. Don't miss what happens next.